when I had the opportunity to visit Hanoi and see the effects of a high technology war machine being used against a peasant society, it changed my understanding fundamentally. The United States, ever since its defeat in Vietnam, despite having overwhelming military superiority, has failed to learn the lesson that military intervention is not an effective geopolitical tool in the late 20th and 21st century. The United States thought that its military superiority and its capacity to build a state that would be oriented toward the West and be within the capitalist domain of the world economy, they thought that this was something that was doable. That has never been very successful. It's tried in the Middle East as well as Afghanistan. Iraq is a prime example of another failure of this kind of regime-changing intervention followed by prolonged occupation and state building. Why doesn't the United States learn from its failures? What obstructs the correction of the policy? Because it suggests the dependence of American foreign policy on the military instrument, that it's had a quasi-war posture. It became a very militarized state bureaucracy with a high peacetime military budget. And this led it to consistently exaggerate security threats. And many people have been puzzled by the American Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, stressing this rule-based international order. And it certainly doesn't seem to mean respect for international law. It seems to mean that others will be held accountable if they depart from U.S. perceptions of what rules should govern. So this idea that international order depends on the coercive leadership of the U.S. has persisted, I think, in the present time under conditions where it no longer has any real claim to contribute to the public, world public good. In fact, it distracts from addressing the real global challenges. What has proved to be true in the late 20th and 21st century is that it is soft power that dominates the making of history. China has shown a greater understanding of what will benefit its own country and its region and the world. And that's what I mean by this soft power kind of policy orientation. And rather than learn from China why China had such extraordinary success in overcoming its own poverty and exerting much more influence in the world and raising its status in the world through what I'm calling a soft power worldview and strategy. Instead of learning from that and overcoming its own failures with resulting from a continued adherence to a hard power strategy, the geopolitical reflex has been to confront China and to repeat this historical pattern that where a hegemonic power is being challenged by an ascending rival, by a country that is gaining in prominence,